With us here on Point now. Asian markets were weaker at the close. Hong Kong stocks saw their biggest intraday decline in 5 weeks as U.S. inflation concerns raise concerns that the Federal Reserve will continue to tighten policy. China shares also slumping as COVID-19 uncertainty sparked worries of lockdown. In Japan, the Nikkei falling 3%, the Hang Seng in Hong Kong slumping 3.4%, and the Shanghai Composite Index 0.9% weaker. Let's go over to the United States. Now, stocks ended down sharply on Friday and posted their biggest weekly percentage decline since January. A rise in U.S. consumer prices in May fueled investor worries about more aggressive interest rate hikes by the Fed. So year-on-year, CPI surged 8.6% year-on-year. That's its biggest gain since 1981, and following an 8.3% jump in May. The S&P 500 lost 2.9%, while the Nasdaq Composite fell 3.52%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 2.73%. Let's make sense of those market pictures now. Bright Khumalo from Vestact Asset Management joins me. A very good afternoon to you, Bright. So, US CPI figures out last week. We saw our markets closing in the red on Friday, opening this morning in the red as well. What's happening now?
Well, it's still red across my screen, right? I'm looking at, you spoke about Asia being red. I'm looking at Europe right now. The UK is down, about 1.2%. So there's no place to hide there. I mean, I'm looking at US futures as well. We're looking to open again down more than 2% in the S&P 500. So it's not all that great. And obviously, like you said, it's those that CPI number at 8.6% accelerating instead of sort of cooling off from what we're seeing. And if you double down in those numbers, you'll see that it was mostly energy prices, which rose 34.6%. And if you double click on that, it was fuel oil, which is up 107%. I've never seen anything like this before in my career, to say the least. And gasoline up 48.7%. I mean, even things like, food costs up 10.1%. That's the first increase of 10% or more since March 1981. So this is real inflation.
Right. You're saying it's real inflation. I know you've spoken to us about the UK picture and the US picture. I know Asian markets obviously tracking what's happening in the US markets.
Yeah, no, obviously, yes. But they also have their own dumpster fire there, which is, too much. Self-regulation, including COVID lockdowns, which actually are one of the biggest inhibitors into this, inflation number we're seeing because of those supply chain bottlenecks. But that's just one leg of it. I don't know what's happening in Asia, man. They want too much reform. I think they're calling it common prosperity. This is now obviously China to be specific, but it's not helping our situation currently as, the globe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's look at company news then. Let's start in South Africa. We saw Sibanye signing that 3-year wage deal. What's been happening with their share price, and how's the market responding, if in any way, to that?
Yes, I mean, the last time I checked, Sibanye's share price was down about 0.2%, so outperforming the market, which is down 2% today. Mm-hmm. So, if I was a shareholder there, I'll take the win for the day.
Okay. And Thungela's CFO coming out with a pre-close and trading statement for the 6 months ended June 2022. What are the highlights from that?
Yeah, I mean, the company paid 2.5 billion rands maiden dividend. Everything seems to be going according to plan for this company. It's sort of like a positive storm. A lot of tailwinds here. You have the war, in Europe between Russia and the Ukraine, increasing basically the prices of most commodities, including coal. And the fact that, Western Europe is trying to be energy independent outside of, the supply of oil and gas from Russia means basically, these type of quote unquote dirty few, I don't know, mining companies or producers are going to be, reaping the rewards of the demand that they're seeing currently in the market as a result. So I mean, this could be in the next 3 to 5 years. At least that's what some of my peers are saying in the space, who play in the space. So very good for this company. And the only issue there is 3 words, right? Transnet Freight Rail. And I'm sure the company is already working on alternative ways to get their coal to the ports to be exported. But currently, everything seems to be very well. They're generating a lot of cash, and it's good to be an investor in this business. The last time I checked the long-term charts, this thing was up 806% since listing. So you've been rewarded quite well if you got them from the unbundling from their mothership to hold these shares, and you actually did nothing and saw an 8-fold increase.
Incredible. Bryce, someone who's not having maybe such a good day, someone who's invested in Bitcoin, we're seeing a crash there, another one. What's happening?
Yeah, so I'm seeing the price of Bitcoin is back where it was, at the end of 2019, so pre-COVID essentially. So it's not looking good that side. We went from to the moon to saying, would you like some fries with that order? So I don't know, it's not looking very good if you're a crypto investor. And if you didn't take any of those profits, unfortunately, you have to return the boat. Thank you very much, Nzinga.
Bryce, as we look at the week ahead, anything specific that you will be watching out for in terms of company news or what's going to move the markets?
So in terms of the week ahead, there's quite a lot happening, especially in the local front. We've got full year numbers that are going to be coming out from Sirius Real Estate. You've got Telkom, which also is going to be releasing their full year numbers. Growth Point trading update. There's quite a lot. I mean, we're going to be watching some of these very closely. And offshore, there'll be H&M coming out with their numbers. And Kroger, the US traditional retailer, also going to be coming with their numbers. I just want to see how Kroger actually performs in comparison to something like a Target, which was struggling to move some of their goods and they had to, sell stuff at discounted prices. So we'll be watching those very closely.
Bryce Khumalo from Vestact Asset Management, always a pleasure speaking to you. Thanks so much for your time on SABC News this afternoon. And so it's time for a short break. When we come back, we'll take a look at how Africa is getting a lot more investment. And the UN says people are looking to the continent more when they want to invest as the continent recovers from COVID-19. This and more. Do stay with us on Point.